Welcome, everyone. We are here today with our last Tuesday coffee chat, and I'm going to share my screen. We are the Why Do You Vote Social Action Campaign, which is a nonprofit, nonpartisan effort to inspire voting with creative videos. It's a project of Money Out Voters In. And we highlighted 7 bridging issues that most Americans agree on. We are so excited today to be here and to be sharing some of these amazing creative winners of our awards. And I'm excited to share for people who weren't on our last call, we were able to also find some money to do some honorary mentions. So we're not just giving away 4 awards today, we're giving away a few more. And the honorable mentions are getting $500. I'd love to get through sharing at least so everybody knows who's won, and we will share that also on the website after our call. So let's see. Today I wanted to start with we have um, several honorable mentions. We had so many amazing voting videos. So we actually have 3 honorary mentions for best voting video. Um, I don't know who's on the call today, so if you are on the call and have won an award, please speak up. Um,
Hello.
Hi. Oh, yes. Alan, you won one of our last weeks for
Thank you.
beautiful film. Yeah, you couldn't make it last week. Would you like to say anything about your beautiful video? We watched it last week. It's so tearjerker.
There's so many topics in America right now that need attention, and we're all part of this. We're all part of the movement of communication. But I come from a family that owns guns, and they teach people how to use guns, and they get a bad rap in because um, they're not part of the problem. They go by the law. My film, so as not to offend them, was we can't have military rifles out there. We can't have weapons of mass destruction uh, filling our streets. And so that was the purpose of the film was we need to address the kids were just symbolic of that, but we need to address gun safety in this country. Not that anyone's going to take away people's guns. It's what kind of guns did the framers have in mind? Well, they had muskets. So we need to negotiate what kind of guns should Americans be entitled to have, and and may I say, perhaps courses of mental health, which is my main concern in life. Um, we need to have a concert of ideas, and it's not just one fix. You just can't say, okay, these guns aren't going to be allowed because we still have the the mental part of our being that needs to be addressed. So that was the film. Um, the last words of the kid who was shot in the film was "Help me," and my point in the film was, how can we be a country that lets a child's last words be "Help me"? And that was it.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. I've shared the link in the chat. The other thing I will share is if people want to be in contact, you can add your names to our community chat list.
Oh, please.
Today's topic originally was actually sensible gun laws.
what makes the vote important are important to me. I, I wanted to say maybe two things so we can do whatever it is that Holly wants us to do. But one is um, I am in ministry. I think God will do anything to you if you let them. But I'm in ministry because as a little girl, uh, I was in Chicago when Dr. King was killed, when Dr. King was shot. My mom and dad grew up in Mississippi. They were, in Jim Crow South. They were civil rights activists and revolutionary lovers, if you will. And at the end of a field trip, we heard that Dr. King had been shot. I was almost 9. It was devastating to see my teacher just crumple with the weight of that. African American man who had grown up in Mississippi as well. And children experience trauma in our own bodies, but also we experience the trauma of the adults. So at almost 9, I was flashing back to my mom watching President Kennedy's assassination. And like being little and like little like John, little like Carolyn, and crying. She was crying, and this feeling of like, wow, guns, kill people, not hunt, protect, but kill people. And then King is killed, and I literally am in my bedroom hiding from flying bullets because Chicago erupts in all kinds of violence. And I remember feeling like God was calling me to be a drum major for peace. So that's my calling story, is a feeling that I'm supposed to pick up on this mantle uh, of building a just society, a beloved community, a place where everyone has enough, a place where all the kids are safe. And so I vote for, Mr. Smith, my 4th grade teacher, right? And I vote for my mom and dad who have both passed on now. I vote for Martin Luther King's beloved community dream. And I vote for the little boy who said, help me, and for all the little ones. I vote for Nelba Marquez Green's little girl, Anna Grace. Nelba's my friend. I vote for the people that danced in Pulse nightclub. I vote for all the ones who've lost their lives because we can't figure it out. We should be able to figure out how people can own a gun, but the owning a gun versus the living of a life, I'm voting that we figure that out, that we don't stay in our musket mindset. I love the way someone said that. Like, that was a long time ago. And, muskets took a long time to load, right? And they did not have rapid fire, automatic weapon cassettes, and they couldn't destroy lives with such quickness. And remembering also that the Second Amendment is kind of located also in our slavery history, our story of enslavement. It's important for us to understand and remember that policing was about getting back the people who had escaped. You all know that, so I'm not shocking you with that, but time passes, history is made. Our life requires that we open up our minds to the current reality. And the current reality is that guns kill children more than anything else in the country. And we just can't have that on our watch, right? We just can't have that. So we have to vote for the children who can't vote, and vote for up and down tickets in every election. Vote for the people who understand the power of life, who are pro-life as opposed to pro crazy ammunition and unreasonable gun laws that allow people to pick up a gun and have a bad day and shoot children in high school, kids dancing in clubs, people on the street. I'm voting for love. I'm voting for you and your people and your kids and your nieces and nephews and the ones who will be progeny generations down the road, because we in this moment voted for common sense gun control and for the life of the kids who need to be able to go to school without, gun protected backpacks. So that's what I'll say now. I hope that's helpful.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. Thank you. This you set the tone. Like, this is what this campaign is all about by bringing these issues together. And your voice is so powerful and deeply moving. Like, I got this general, vibration just hearing your beautiful, deeply impactful words and the history. And we were going to do the voting awards. So this is the perfect segue because there was a lot of violence around getting the right to vote. And that's why we ended up having so many honorary mentions as well, because it was just this message of how we can't take our vote for granted. The Jim Crow 2.0 laws that are still happening. And one of these is about, the violence that happened getting the right to vote, and how it still lives on. And, we have to remember this when we talk about sensible, public safety, it's kids, it's in public spaces, it's everywhere. And we need to, vote for a safer future. Um, so with that, and then at the end, we can also talk, after the filmmakers are announced, I'd love to see if they're on and they could say a few words, and then we will come back and show this at the end. We have several honorable mentions for best voting. We have Malcolm Powell with 4 types of dads voting. I don't think Malcolm's on the call, but he will be notified later. We also have best honorary mention for voting to Don't Tell Me Your Vote Doesn't Matter by Sean Kafer. We also had, a beautiful animation piece that I just love watching over and over and I think is so impactful. Make My Vote Count by Jeffrey.
Hi.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
Jeff, you are here. I hope everybody sees this film far and wide. And again, when everybody's done, please share these videos from our socials page.
Thank you. And so on behalf of the other filmmakers, thank you so much. So that's an honorable mention, I can tell them?
Yes, it's an honorable mention, and we'll have this all on the websites after our
Awesome.
call.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Hope everyone gets to see it.
It's a person. Do you want to give a 2-line or a 3-line info about the film before we show it later so people
Oh, I
can?
would love to. Yes. Uh, Make My Vote Count is narrated by Connie Payton, who is a dear friend of mine. I met her when I was very little, and she tells the story of uh, watching her mother study the preamble to the Constitution, memorize the preamble to the Constitution, which was a requirement uh, for voting in the Jim Crow era. And so her mother, it's the story of her mother learning the preamble and telling Connie what it meant, because this little girl couldn't understand, why is her mother studying when she's not in school? And that's the story. And I won't spoil the ending, but it's a very joyous film. And what's really super cool about it is that the great niece of Connie is actually the animator for the film, Dariana Barrett, who just graduated from Loyola Film School. So it's all coming full circle, and they'd be on the call right now, but they're all being interviewed on WWL TV in New Orleans as we speak. So thank you, though.
Thank you. And yeah, later we will show that film is so beautiful. And then our winner for best voting video is Sister Soldiers March On by Daniel Land. And it's a beautiful film, and I look forward to sharing that with you. Is anybody from Sister Soldiers March On the call? Okay. Anyway, I will get congratulations to all of these winners. And then now I'm going to get to the Liberty. And this one, we had an honorable mention, Why Do I Vote by Duc Nguyen. And for the winner of the Liberty, we have Voting for Equality by Sella Johnson, Melanie Lopez, Betsy Mariano, and
Wow.
Suri
Oh
Mays.
my God. Thank you
Melanie,
so
show you
much.
guys should show them who you are.
Oh, okay. I look kind of messy right now.
Suri, are you there? Suri's in high school. I don't know how she got out of class.
I made, oh,
Congratulations for being a
Hi,
winner.
thank you so much.
And then we have two more. One just had to go to class. She was on the call, but she left. That's amazing.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about your film? Again, we will show all the films later, but we'd love to hear from the filmmakers now before we get
Yeah.
to the screening part.
So we decided to focus our film on immigration and sort of how immigrants are dehumanized a lot, and discriminated against a lot. So we decided to kind of focus on the more positive aspects of immigration that are not quite shown or talked about enough. And we got to talk to some people and have some really vulnerable conversations. So that was great. Yeah.
And I love how I mean, it really does it shows the face of LA, which is so diverse, and it does such a beautiful job. And also, but bringing it back to voting, it's a beautiful film, which you will see later. So congratulations to this wonderful team effort so it's high schoolers and college students.
Yep.
Wonderful. Okay. Then let's see. I'm going to.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Oh, yes, I see Reverend Dr.
Congratulations.
Jackie Lewis has your hand up.
Holly, can I make a really quick comment and then beg forgiveness to pop out?
Of course, yes.
First of all, this is so impressive that you're gathering together to talk about voting. I'm going to say it feels like a spiritual practice to me, is what we're talking about.
Yes.
Like no matter what spirit drives us, we as humans who believe we're interconnected are driven, right, to stand up for each other. And in the comments about Jim Crow, Jeff, that got you teary, my Uncle George, my great Uncle George, worked with Fannie Lou Hamer in Mississippi. Just wanted to call her name and call his name, that she came to her calling at St. James Chapel, where he was a trustee.
Oh, wow.
And he shepherded her, walked with her up and down the dusty roads of Louisville, Mississippi. And we understand all of the SNCC folks, the violence that they endured to get us the right to vote. John Lewis, Diane Nash, all those guys, all those young people who worked hard on our behalf. Well, George wasn't young, but he did too. And someone used a gun to shoot in his house to threaten him and get him to stop doing the work. I'm saying I also vote for Uncle George and Fannie Lou Hamer. And you're going to be talking to people who won't vote at the polls because it's too hard or too weird or nobody's perfect. And all of that's true. It is hard and it is weird and no one's perfect. But those people, from poll tax to memorizing preambles to getting their heads bashed in, so we could exercise our vote, please tell those stories to your friends who will feel ambivalent. And I'm so proud of you, and I'm sorry that I need to go, but I do. So I just wanted to say thank you, Holly. And I know Susan's got some things she's sharing that I've done in the world about this. So
Yes.
thanks for letting me up.
Thank you, Reverend Dr.
Thank
Jackie
you.
Lewis. I
Thank
also
you.
wanted to share just before you jump that if you watch, I'm sharing on our events page, we actually had Alice Moore and Denise Holt, who were
good.
teenagers on the Pettus
Oh,
Bridge
watch.
activists.
Yeah, I would
And
love to.
I'm gonna share that where all of these calls will live. So that's a recorded Zoom just like this. It was very moving hearing their stories from 50 years ago,
Wow.
how they fought to get the right to vote. So please, I'm just so grateful you could join us today. And Susan has shared your video, turning a gun into a plowshare. Literally. So I encourage, let's share that into that chat document so people can find that. It's a really beautiful video piece. Here, I'm putting that in the chat, group. So thank you. We understand you have to run, but we really appreciate your voice joining this call today.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you all, and I'm going to ask
Thank
Susan
you.
to share the resources with you, and we'll circulate them, okay? Over the
Wonderful.
one,
Thank you
all
so
right?
much.
Okay.
Peace to you all. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have two more categories coming up. And then I also, actually, I'm going to break, I'll do two more categories. And then we also have some other separate honorable mentions for people who did series of videos. But I would love to go to the democracy category next. And we have two honorary mentions. We have Why Do I Vote? Gerrymandering by Adam Saunders.
Hi.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I am. How are you? Thank you. That's so exciting.
I loved all your videos, and this
Oh, thank you.
gerrymandering one is great. Do you want to give a little info about your beautiful piece, which we will show later?
Oh, sure. No, I appreciate that. Gerrymandering, it's basically just kind of a fun little look at how gerrymandering works, because I think a lot of people don't understand how easy it is to turn a Democratic district into a Republican district or the other way. And basically just by cutting the districts into different shaped pieces, you can change the outcome of an election, which is really crazy. So we tried to simplify that and make it into a video. So that's basically the point of it in a fun way.
Yeah. Yeah. Without giving it, I liked you didn't give away how you do it. We will watch it later. And I loved your other two videos. So wonderful. Congrats, Adam.
Thanks, Holly. I really
Thank you for,
appreciate it. You're doing a great job here. This is really great that you're doing all of this, and all of you. So thank you all.
yeah, she talked about Reverend Jackie talked about inspiration. And like I was at the American Democracy Summit a year ago, and Headcount and Rock the Vote were on stage, and I felt like I got hit by lightning. Like I have to do something to get, encourage youth voting and then with filmmaking. So it's really fun to see how this project has come about this whole year. So just
Really
had to do it. And then our next democracy honorary mention is Jose Peña. Jose, are you on the call? Okay, and then our democracy winner is We Are Democracy by Brenda Wackel. Brenda, are you on the call? Oh, I see you. You're muted.
I just unmuted. Hi.
Okay.
Thank you so much. It's so exciting for me. Really, really exciting. Thank you.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about your piece, or wait till we just watch it, or how it came about?
I'll make it really short because I know you're on a little schedule. Yeah, I wanted to make a difference, and I felt like my hands were tied, that there was very little I could do other than talk to people, make calls, canvas. And I felt that by making this video, my whole thing in life is that if you touch someone, you move them, you make them feel something, they're inspired to do something about it. So that's what started it. And it's also my philosophy. Like I come from a time and a generation where people helped each other. And I see less and less in that in the world since social media, which should have been the big connector. I find it the big isolator, actually, for real human contact. And so I brought that back into the film, and everyone who worked on it, we all just piled in, and it was the most joyful experience. And that's my story.
Oh, I love hearing that, and I can't wait to show everybody later. I'm gonna go on now to the song winners. We have some honorary mentions, and then we have a winner. So we've got two honorary mentions with, I love this one, New Voters Club by Alyssa Brandon. Alyssa, are you on the call?
Yeah, I am. Hello.
I love what you guys did. It's so fun. I should also mention I've in my notes I'd only had your name, but you did this together with
Yes, with my friend Gracie. Wow. Okay. I didn't know that we had won something. I was just tuning in to hear about everyone else. This is super exciting. Yeah, I think that these days you can get really bogged down in the heaviness of all the things that are going wrong with people not voting and the issues that we're upset about that we want to change. And so we wanted to take a part of pop culture and have a chance for that to, I don't know, go viral or something, which was maybe not possible, who knows. But, you know, Chappell Roan is really big right now in the queer community with a lot of her songs and her music about equality for the queer community and the LGBTQ plus community. And so we wanted to take that and kind of run with it to also talk about how fun it can be to vote, especially for young folks to feel like they can have a voice and have some power in this otherwise powerless feeling world.
Yes, well, if anybody knows her, please share their video so that she could see it and, you know, reshare it because it's a great, without giving it away, since we will see it later. I love how you guys took the pop song and reworked it about voting.
Thanks.
Yeah, so, and the whole idea is for people to like, comment, and share. So again, share our socials page where we have all the social links, so it's easy to do. Our next honorable mention for song is Why Do I Vote? Isn't It Obvious by Michelle Barber Perry. Michelle, are you on the call? Okay, maybe no. Okay. And then our song winner is Granny Annie's Rap, Why Do I Vote by Terry Nicoletti. Terry, I see you were on the call. You're muted. We're not here. I'm seeing this reaction, but I'm not hearing it.
Oh, I'm overwhelmed because everyone was so beautiful. Everything was so good, you know. I was like and it was such a serendipity that I ran into you, Holly, at the One Dem Minute Film Festival, and I was already enjoying the feedback on my propaganda song. So, you know, when you encouraged me, and then when I got here, there was like a lot going on, and I almost missed the deadline, and then I think you extended it, right? That
Yep.
was
Mhm.
how it even happened. And so then I was like, okay, what do I want? Which categories? And I try to get in the pool at least once a week. And I was going back and forth in the pool, and I just said to the universe, what am I supposed to talk about? What am I supposed to say? And it came to me the phrase, how the hell did that happen? That was the inspiration. It was like, if I'm going to look at the world and go, how the hell did that happen? I got to have some power to do something about it. Oh, voting. And that's kind of how it happened. And then the other blessing, and I wish Danny were here to share this. Any of you, some of you might be old enough to know Laura Nyro, who Laura Nyro was, singer-songwriter Laura Nyro. Well, her brother Jan Nigro and his wife Janice are very, very dear friends of mine for over 40 years, and he's a brilliant songwriter. So when I realized this was going to be a rap, I was not going to use a Broadway song or a pop song like I did for propaganda. I called him and I said, Janny, do you want to work on this with me? And so we had a wonderful time putting the message together. And then I learned a lesson, a really painful lesson, because we came up with Granny Annie. That was the character, and I was really happy with her. But I was trying to record it and perform it all by myself. And and I was standing, you know, full length, and it wasn't working, and it didn't sound good. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then I realized I am not I'm a dancer, I'm a swing dancer, but I am not a rap dancer performer. I am a sit at the desk, talk from the chest up performer. And that's was what it came down to, is that Granny Annie had to be able to rap, but in my own, what worked for me as a 79-year-old white-haired lady, you know, it was just so putting all that together, and then just being so excited about the idea of empowerment, because and I'm going to learn TikTok. I did put it up there. I don't know how that works, because I want young folks to realize that we are not powerless, and that living in this democracy, if we will work to keep it, our power is our vote. Our vote is our voice. I mean, this is how, when I want to go, how the hell did that happen? I can go, what can I do about it? And then how can I keep it from happening again? So that all just kind of came together. And I got some help with the recording. I didn't try to do it all by myself then. So there were quite a few people involved actually. And then when I saw how good everybody else's were, I was like, oh well, it was wonderful to be part of this. But anyway,
Well, you have some new fans that
thank you.
and look
Thank
forward
you.
to sharing it. And then,
Thank
yeah, and then I did want to share that, like I said, we had some other honorable mentions for series, and those are going to be, we're giving away $250 for these honorable mention series. And I see Ronaldo Pearson, I loved your videos, and I wanted to give some, credit because you did a beautiful job of making videos to encourage voting, and plus all your other amazing work for democracy. So if you want to, I see you're on the call.
Yes, multitasking, but thank you for everything you're doing, Holly. I really appreciate this democracy work is difficult, but our only choice is to get off the sidelines and get involved. You already referenced the march we just did in Georgia to defy what I think is the most ridiculous and immoral voter suppression law in our times, right? So dehumanizing to ban and criminalize with a misdemeanor jailable offense, giving out water to voters in long lines, right? Just read Dr. King's letter from Birmingham jail. If you had any question about what an unjust law is, or should I direct you to the Bible that talks about giving water to your thirsty enemies, right? Let alone friends, right? It says no exceptions about if they're standing in line to vote. So again, thank you all so much for what you're doing, Holly. I think this is really important work.
Well, thank you for all you're doing. And then we have a couple other honorable mentions for series. I don't think any of them are on the call though, so I will add them to the website so that we can move forward to our programming. So with that, we can start watching some of these winners. Let's see.
Can I say just one more thing? Holly, I just want to say that I'm a senior citizen on Social Security only, and many, many blessings over the years have made it possible for me to survive in a way that a lot of people my age in my category cannot. And part of it is because I've tried so many times to be an artist in between my sales jobs that I don't have like a real retirement. So this is also, I have to say, a real blessing, especially coming towards the end of the year. Financially, and Janie and I are splitting it, but it's huge. So I just want you to know.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
Granny Annie, and I'm here to say why I'm looking forward to Election Day. When I wake up in the morning and the world is a mess, I want to hide under the covers. I gotta confess. I worry about the economy. And what about bodily autonomy? What happened to facts? They disappeared. No climate change. Come on, that's weird.
It didn't play the music. It didn't play the rap beat. Which
you couldn't hear that. Okay.
Yeah, it has
rap beat. Okay.
It's really an important part of the structure, but anyway.
Okay, everybody can also go after and watch this on our socials page. I encourage you all, please go to our socials page. Let me share this. I'll just share this one in the chat already.